Hey there, toy collector friends and Star Wars fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I am the time-traveling toy collector, and this is something, it's not a little bit different, but it is something that I wanted to share with you sort of outside of any kind of specific tailored range of videos. So this is a pack of action figures from Hasbro, and it's retro figures, Star Wars retro figures assortment, and it's from the Obi-Wan Kenobi range. Okay, and the reason I'm sharing this with you is because this is one of those moments where it's worth holding out and it's worth looking for great deals. And I say that because admittedly this doesn't come in one of those sort of fancy retro boxes, retro box sets boxes like we have had with Return of the Jedi and A New Hope, but it's a set of 8 figures, which is 2 more figures than you get in, I think, than we get in those sets, but I could be making that up. But essentially, this was retailing for, as a set of figures, this was originally retailing for something around the 90 pounds mark. And I thought, whilst I am very keen to sort of re-establish my retro collection, if you like, of my original Star Wars figures, branching out in the same range but with other franchises within that sort of under the umbrella, so i.e. the Obi-Wan Kenobi, I wasn't quite enamored with doing that, particularly at the price points that they were asking for. So this set here is from In Demand Toys, and In Demand Toys are UK based retailer, and they released these part of their sale. You get the 8 pieces, and they were released for 30, I think it was 32 pounds, 32, I think either 32 or 36. I want to say 32, that's the number that's in my head. So you get 8 figures for 32 pounds. Now these are figures that sort of retail somewhere between £9.99 and 15 pounds per figure. So essentially I thought, well, actually that's a really good deal, and it's the retro set. And the reason, I think there's 6 core figures and a couple of them are packed in twice, and what that gives me is the opportunity, because I'm like that, to open 2 of them because they are packed in twice. So I'm going to get the box out of the way because there's nothing to see in terms of the box itself. You can hear me opening it up now. And I'm just going to get these figures out of the box. So, and then we'll have a look at what we've got. Because I'll be honest, I wasn't going to pick these up, as I've said, but how do you turn it down when it's that kind of value? So as I've already told you, it's retro range, but it's the Obi-Wan Kenobi figures. So I'm just going to do a little bit of adjusting there so I can hopefully get the whole thing into shot. Oh, excuse my fingers. Maybe we'll go with going closer, actually, rather than further away, and then I can just manipulate it. Now again, so here we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, Wandering Jedi. It's a bit frustrating, we've got the ever-present Retro Collection sticker slap bang on the front. I remain not a fan of that, but the figure itself, yeah, I'm not too sure about the beard on the head sculpt there, but it's got the handheld saber, a bit like the ones we saw with Luke Skywalker with his Jedi outfit, and also I think Bespin fatigues, although we haven't got any Return of the Jedi box sets yet, so I don't sorry, Empire Strikes Back box sets yet, so I'm hoping that'll be released when they get around to doing those. And again, we are getting this aged and weathered type of edging around the packaging, which I'm again not a fan of, to be honest. It's a black carded back, pretty much says everything we need to know. Those are the figures you get: Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader, Ned B, Reva, the 3rd sister, Grand Inquisitor, and the 5th brother. So a bit of a range. I'm going to try and stack these up if I can as I get them out, so you can sort of keep them in vision. We shall see. So straight away answers my question. So the next one you get a copy of is another Obi-Wan Kenobi. I do like that they're taking it down the route of everything comes with the same kind of branding as they did with the different films. So there's a second one of these, so that becomes one that I can open and display, which is great because it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Next up, oh, and well, here we go. That answers the other question. We have Darth Vader from the Dark Times. So it's still quite that sort of retro figure, but the cape is different here. If you can see that, that looks a bit like a cloth soft goods cape. And we have a rather odd orange handheld lightsaber, which I don't recall any of the Darth Vader figures from the original range having. There is also that lovely red tint to his helmet eyes, and you can see the detailing on his body there. Again, the card is the same, so I'm not going to bore you all every single time. We'll just sort of focus on the figures themselves. And the reason I just said that answers that question is because the next one in the pile is another Darth Vader, which I'm actually really happy about because it means I get to open a Darth Vader as well, which gives me a Kenobi and Vader opportunity for a display. So that's very exciting for me. Next up we have Reva, the third sister, and she's got that rather complex lightsaber all in one colour, so interesting. And what looks to me like the old school vinyl cape, along with that sort of non-hood high collar thing that we had. Again, of course, lovely retro artwork using the photo, that blasted sticker, nothing we can do about that, the Kenner logo, and the beautiful tracks around the edge that are synonymous with the Star Wars classic Kenner and Palitoy if you're in the UK range. So we'll add the third Reva there, holding those other figures up, thank you. Next we have the Grand Inquisitor. These are actually really nice figures. Again with a similar sword arrangement to Reva, but this one has the complete circular handle. I can't envisage there being any special features to it. I think it's moulded in a separate single place way. Again, the cape is visible there. I think it's a cape. Looks like a cape. Yeah, it's a cape. Again, it's that vinyl sort of thing, but otherwise it's the 5 points of articulation we know and love. I do think the head sculpt is particularly well done though. Very nice. And oh, did I say I wasn't going to mention the sticker? I won't mention the sticker. I think I'm going to be stuck for space in a second. Next up, oh, one of my favourites is, I almost wish we had two of these because I'd love to open it. Ned 8, there he is on his card. And again, a lovely droid figure. And then you can see the blue panelling on one arm versus the remainder, and that lovely blue colouring around the neck as well. The detailing on the figure isn't quite as that we're seeing it on the illustration there on the photo, but again, when was it ever really in the original range? So I'll pop that there just about in shot. And last but by no means least, we have Fifth Brother, which I actually just read as Filth Brother. Probably says more about me than it should. And again, a lovely face sculpt. If you look at that, that's wonderfully in line with the photo there. It's almost too good. And I also kind of love that he's wearing a Cylon Raider on his head from Battlestar Galactica, which I think is wonderful. Yeah, I know it's not. Don't tell me in the comments it's not really that. I get it. And there we have a repetition of the weapon there. Can't see any other features in there, if I'm honest. Again, chunky boots, chunky figure all round, but everything we knew and loved from the original original range. I was going to call it retro range, but in the days before it was retro, it was what it was. So let me see if I can just spin these a wee bitty around just to try and get them all in. I don't think I can. Might have to just cheat him in there somewhere. So we get these 6, and I really like them. And of course the 2 bonus figure, I say bonus, the 2 extra Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi, presumably because they're the ones that we can sell more of. There's 2 of those in there, and the rest are sort of single packed. But again, I would not have been drawn to these figures. In all honesty, I would not have been drawn to these figures if it wasn't for that deal. I think that deal is what made it work for me. Because I think 30 quid for these, plus the other 2 that I can open and fiddle with, it's really great value for money. It's really great value for money, considering that the boxes that they come in retail for around £90. And yeah, I have been tempted in the past to sort of invest in getting some of the wave sets that as they released, but I just had a word with myself and literally couldn't do it, considering, you know, I just think it's too much. I just think it's too much for what it is, and I don't know that I'm that invested in the current figures. I am certainly invested in the old school figures, but the current figures, I don't know if I'm as invested. So I've kind of let them be a bit there. But this, yeah, I saw this on the sale, and it's, I suppose, really the message. This is sort of a public information video. If you are certainly in the UK, I know they ship internationally, but if you are someone who likes to browse and are a discerning collector, do check out In Demand Toys. There's others. There's Kapow Toys as well that often do some good good prices. But In Demand Toys, I frequently find doing some amazing deals, and also, and I'll be careful how I phrase this because I don't know what it means to me in the future. But if you're ever looking for any other sort of Hasbro releases like Transformers, etc., it is worth checking out In Demand Toys for their price point, because there was a certain Transformers figure which I'll talk about, I'm sure, in a future video elsewhere, if I haven't done so already in a video elsewhere. But there was a Titan class figure relatively recently announced by Hasbro, and the Hasbro price and delivery is higher than the In Demand Toys price for the figure and delivery by a not insignificant amount. And by that I mean like £10-20, which doesn't sound huge, but when it's the difference between paying more than £200 or less than £200, it is significant in my book. So I would advocate always checking In Demand Toys for whatever they may have on offer. So anyway, these are my latest acquisitions in terms of Star Wars figures. I love the quality of them. I love the look of them. Am I going to open them up? No, I'm not. Am I going to open up Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader that are duplicates? You absolutely know that I am, and I can't wait. So watch out for those. Probably on my Instagram. I doubt I'll do an opening video on them here. I might do, but it's more likely you'll just see some photography shots of them over on my Instagram page, which of course is the Time Travelling Toy Collector. And if you're up for a bit of social media exploration, please don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to the channel, because that way you'll never miss an upcoming video, and you can discernibly decide if you want to look at Star Wars stuff or Battlestar Galactica stuff or Doctor Who or Transformers or Space 1999 or Thunderbirds or anything like that. Who knows, there's all sorts of stuff knocking about the channel. Go and have a little look around. You might find some extra things that you like. Anyway, thank you for spending the last 14 or so minutes with me. I've been the Time Travelling Toy Collector. You've been a wonderful, wonderful audience. And this has been the retro range for Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi figures from Hasbro, purchased by In Demand Toys. I should point out, this is not an advert for In Demand Toys. I'm not sponsored by In Demand Toys. It's just that they provided it, and I think at a really good rate, and I like to support businesses and small businesses, particularly that sort of, if you like, are the pipeline for a lot of the things that we all love to collect. So on that, I'll leave you sort of a nice in the round shot of these figures, and I will see you in a future video. Just remains for me to say that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. Take care, and bye-bye for now.